right, welcome into another edition of the 2025 MLB Draft Spotlight Show, Rocky Top Edition. Mr. AJ Russell, Tennessee Volunteers, Franklin's finest. What's up, man?
What's going on? Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, absolutely. How's life?
It's good. Rolling and everything. Baseball is great. School is great. I mean, it's life's good right now. How about you?
That's what I like to hear. Life's good, man. First
Yeah.
question. I mean, I guess how's life is the first question. Second question, who's AJ Russell? On the field, off the
Yeah.
field. What are you doing,
Uh,
man?
oh man, it's a complex question. I'm just kind of off the field. I'm a free, kind of easygoing guy. I don't like to be too serious about a lot of things, and like to hang out with my friends. I like to be outdoors. Like to play a lot of video games with friends as well, whether it's late at night or something like that. Um, but on the field, just get after it. Try and throw it hard, throw it in the zone, and just have fun off of that. So yeah.
What's it mean to be a Tennessee Volunteer?
Oh, it's everything. It's so much fun. I don't even know how to explain this. It's so awesome to play under a coach that kind of lets you be who you are and kind of lets you shine, but also pushes you to be the best version of yourself. And um, it is, like I said, it is so much fun, and we just it's a lot. There's a lot of steam over there and over here, and it's a good time.
I want to talk about obviously pitching a little bit, man. What's the arsenal? And
Yeah.
once you finish explaining the arsenal, tell me why your fastball's so nasty.
Yeah, so I throw one fastball. It's just four seam. I call it a four seam. I grip it like a four seam. Um, it kind of has a mind of its own. Sometimes, to be honest with you, I just go right across the horseshoe. And it's sometimes I think it has something to do with kind of my fingers. Sometimes it runs, sometimes it rides. But I have pretty good control of that, and I think that's like my go-to. And then slider and changeup are my two kind of biggest off speed. Slider was really good freshman year. It was kind of a gyro, kind of cutter-ishy slider. It kind of got bigger last year. I think that was kind of due to the arm and just kind of having problems with that. And then my changeup's kind of a work in progress. It's kind of we're always attempting to kind of make it better, get more depth out of it. I like it a lot. I like just I don't totally trust it at times. If that makes sense. I'd rather just throw a fastball and kind of move on. And then I throw a spike curveball. It's kind of servicey. I don't really get a whole lot of depth out of it. So I probably have thrown about five of them my entire time here. I don't throw it a whole lot. Don't I mean I would say I don't need to, but at the same time, like I don't necessarily want to either. I'd rather just throw a slider instead if I'm gonna throw for the off speed. So I don't necessarily know why the fastball is as effective as it is. It's one of those pitches for me that just grip it and rip it. There's not a whole lot of thought behind it. I see the glove, and kind of the cue for me is throw it through the glove as hard as you can, and that kind of helps with my command, but it also helps with kind of the velo and all that. And that's kind of how the velo came along, was just gripping it and ripping it. So.
Yeah. Do you prefer it to ride or do you prefer it to run? Because you have such an interesting slot from a 6 foot
Yeah.
6 inch righty. Like, what do you want the fastball to do?
Um, I kind of wanted to get a little ride and run. That's kind of the goal. And when it's really on, that's what it's doing. But it does run a lot, and I think it's sometimes I kind of get my fingers kind of on the side, and when I'm really low too, it kind of cast out. It kind of gets, like I said, on the side of the ball a little bit, and that's kind of gives it that running, kind of two seam action. And the goal is to have it be a ride run fastball. There's not many that do that, and that's the goal. But it never is really just ride. So it's either ride run or it's got a lot of run to it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, it's a nasty pitch. You'd mentioned the arm troubles that you'd had last year. You still touched 98, I think. Um, do you think there's more in the tank? Like, I'm assuming you dealt with some soreness throughout the
Yeah.
season, leading up to your injury. I mean, do you think it held you back at all in terms of reaching your velo peak?
I honestly have no idea. I've been kind of gaining kind of a little backstory. I was like top in 91 at a high school, so I don't really know where my velo peak is. I've put on about 12, 13 pounds since last year. And that's kind of been a big focus for me at the University of Tennessee. I came in at about 175, 180 pounds soaking wet and sitting around the 225 mark right now. And that's it. It's been a big, just like this is what's going to make me better, and that in the weight room has been the biggest difference. And I don't know where my peak velocity is going to be at, or if it is 98, or if I have more in the tank. But I hope there's a little bit more. I wouldn't mind hitting a little under piece, and that way I don't have to listen to Snead talk about it all the time and Marcus and all of them, and be like, now I have something to kind of get back at them with too. So
Yeah, you get Dolly coming back, you get Joyce
exactly.
coming back. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
you're not in the triple digit club yet, huh?
No, like my name's not even on the like they've had so many guys throw hard. I'm not even on the recruiting list. I hit 98 once or somewhere around there, and the whole list is like Joyce 105, Halvey, you know what I mean? Just going down that list of Crochet, like um and it's just 105, 103, 101. You know what I mean? You're just like, I got to get on that list. Like I want to get on that list. So,
Ha
yeah, I hope there's a little bit more. I hope there's a little bit more in the tank.
do you think you've moved the goalposts at all since high school? I mean, you come in throwing 91. Did you ever think you were going to be a guy that flirted with nines and 100 and 101?
Definitely not. No, I didn't know what to expect. I was kind of a really late bloomer. I grew a lot my freshman year of high school, kind of going to sophomore year. Um, and didn't necessarily know how to train the right way or kind of do anything the right way. And I got on campus, and it was a rude awakening, but also like kind of opened my eyes to kind of how everybody does it, and kind of learning from guys like you said, Dolander, Burns, Halverson, Zach Joyce was a one. Obviously, Drew Beam was one of my really good friends, and one of my was my road roommate. So I got to learn a lot from a lot of great guys, and a lot of guys that are going to be really successful. And that kind of it opened my eyes to kind of what it really took to kind of make it. And I've had all the resources to be able to do that, and all the coaching and the pushing that's needed to happen. It's kind of all kind of fell in the right place.
I can tell you're just itching to get back on the mound.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, man. I threw a bullpen today. I mean, I'm feeling great. I'm ready to go. Like it's so frustrating. Like you said, sat out so long last year, had to watch so many games. I'm not trying to do that anymore.
What's been the biggest moment of your collegiate career so far? You got something you can look back on in the last 2 years and really kind
Yeah.
of put a pin in it?
Um, I think the biggest thing was pitching in Omaha my freshman year. Um, I remember being like kind of terrified to like run out there because I mean it's playing LSU that first game, and it was Skeens versus I think Andrew Lindsay through that game. Um, and they ran me out in like the eighth inning, and we're losing. And first batter's Dylan Cruz, and I was like, all right, here we go. You know what I mean? It was just one of those like you got 20,000 fans there, and it was kind of a really hyped up game, and um, just kind of proving to myself that was a big deal of just kind of proving myself that like I can get guys out, and I can do this just as well, just as good and as well as everybody else. And that was a big thing just because out of high school it was like I said, didn't throw very hard. I was kind of the last recruit, kind of the last like nobody knew who I was. It was just I was just like, yeah, I'm decent at baseball and throw strikes, get guys out, don't throw really hard. I'm not even probably wasn't even a top 500 guy at that point. I was just kind of like I was having fun with it, and that was kind of a big moment of like I would say confidence in myself of just being like I can make a run at this, or I can do something with this. So yeah.
You know, I'm going to ask you a weird question. So in high school, you say nobody knew who I was. I'm assuming you weren't on, too many draft boards. You didn't get a ton of calls for Zoom calls as a high school senior. Fast forward to your sophomore year.
Yeah,
start getting talked about a little bit in
mhm,
terms of the draft. I know we're not, that's way ahead of us, but just
absolutely.
from 10,000 feet, you get talked about with the draft, and then you get hurt. I'm just curious, man, as you look back on the last 3 or 4 years of your baseball journey, like, does it make any sense?
No, no, not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes zero sense. I don't very thankful for it, obviously. I mean, it's such an awesome feeling. But yeah, it makes zero sense whatsoever. I was pretty much coming here to kind of get my degree and kind of move on and kind of change my thought process a little bit um and I've fortunate to have a lot of support behind me, which is really helped me along the way.
Tennessee Volunteers. What's the goal? I mean, listen, I know
Yeah.
Omaha's the goal. Without it, it's Tennessee. But
Yep.
as a team, some other kind of extraneous goals, man. What's on the menu for 2025 for you guys?
Win another one. I don't think there's not a, I mean, like I said, we got a lot, I haven't said this, we got not a lot of new guys. Everybody kind of talks about that, but I think we're just as good as we were last year, and I think we're gonna dominate on the mound, and we're gonna hit a lot of homers, and the goal is always the same: win as much as possible, no matter what. Just go out there and win.
I love it. I love it, man. Last question. I'll hit you with a couple questions out of left field after this one, but this injury, man, I'm sure it's taught you a thing or two about adversity. What have you learned about yourself in the last 9 months?
Um, I'm a whole lot tougher than I thought I was. Um, this was my first real surgery, or first time in the hospital for that matter. Like it was never. I've been quite lucky. I was quite lucky as a kid too. Never anything too serious, and I was a little scared going into it. Like it was one of those things I was like I was kind of almost like terrified of it to actually ever happen and never like it was one of those things that like people talk about and obviously you see in the majors now and there's a lot of guys kind of going down and it's getting talked about more and more just in like articles and stuff like that and it was always something I was kind of scared of and now it's one of those things that's just like it's another thing I've got through that like there's not much worse that could go on. I've been through quite a bit in my life, and it's just another thing on to kind of make me stronger. And so it's um, can't say that happy it happened, but at the same time, I learned a ton from it, and I can use what I learned to kind of move forward in life, which is good.
Well, I'm gonna ask one more question then and kind of
Yeah,
piggyback off that. You said you've been through a lot in your life.
yeah.
What else have you had to fight through, man, to get to where you are today?
It's nothing crazy. I moved a ton as a little kid, and it was just kind of like I never spent more than about a year in the same place, about a year and a half. So when you're kind of moving, it's obvious it's a blessing, but it's also you don't really have necessarily as much friends, and that's kind of the reality of it. And it's not like a sob story or anything like that. It's just kind of like it just wasn't. I'm happy it happened because I can say I'm from all these places and I've met people here that are kind of from like similar areas, which is really cool. And but at the same time, I hear all these stories about some of my friends, right? They like I'm in Nashville now. My roommates are from Nashville, and they're like, "Yeah, we knew the same people from 6 years old, 7 years old." And sometimes like that would have been kind of nice to know, or like have, you know what I mean, stuff like that. But I'm very happy. Like it wasn't anything too serious or anything like that. It just, yeah,
Well, hey, man, it'll serve you well in minor league ball, right?
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Couple questions out of left field.
Yeah.
Let's say you play 20 years
hmm
and you got to choose a song to be your walkout music and you can't change it for 2 decades. What's the track?
This one's a little unpopular because it's not anything hype or anything like that. It's just a good song to me. Homegrown by Zach Brown Band. That's been my song. It was my song. It was my walkout freshman year. It's going to be my walkout this year. Um, I don't listen to it unless I'm walking out to pitch.
Really?
Um, and I probably like when I'm pitching, like I could sing it to myself. You know what I mean? Like if I hear it once, like I could sing it to myself. But it's like love Zach Brown. Listen to all of his music, and that's my song.
I like that answer, man.
Yeah.
All right, how about this Tennessee roster? And I'll give you the
Yeah.
2024 roster too. Let's say you guys all go out to a steak dinner.
Hmm.
Nicest steak place you can find.
Yep.
Expensive place. Who's the one guy that you would not trust on the team to order food for the entire table?
Oh. Um, See, I don't know, because most times they would just order like like some bunch of fillets and we call it a day. I mean, I think especially last year, everybody was kind of on the same page. This year, I think it's kind of pretty similar. Um,
I'll give you a hint. There's always a guy on the team that is just the chicken nuggets guy, or he's
yeah,
the PB&J
I
guy.
probably wouldn't let Snead order for me. Nothing against him. And just yeah, I could see him ordering some nuggets or some chicken fingers or something like that. And um, most guys eat pretty well, though, I would say.
Tennessee, you got to.
Yeah.
You're taking on,
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
you're up to 225. You're doing something right.
Yeah. So
All right, man, last question. And you can't say Sneed. For
okay.
that Tennessee roster, who's the one guy you're not letting him date your sister?
Um, Dalton Bargo.
A catcher? You
Yeah.
throw to, I mean, you throw to Bargo. You sure you want to do
Uh, yeah. I'll let Dalton.
that?
No, no, not Dalton. Him or Tegan Coons, I'm not allowing.
See,
Everybody else,
I can understand throwing the freshman under the bus.
yeah, everybody else, absolutely. I mean, especially if I know them and I think they're a good dude, they can. But yeah, Bargo or Tegan Coons, definitely
Good
not.
answer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Listen, I've had a ball getting to know you, AJ. You
Yeah,
seem like a really down-to-earth guy. Looking forward to, your recovery being in the rearview mirror and seeing you throw
absolutely.
in June and April and May and everything in between. So good luck this year. Good luck to the
Thank
Vols,
you.
and we'll see you,
Appreciate you.
man.
Yeah, absolutely. See ya. Thank you.